be an amazing place. Feels like a dream. A place of many wonders. And full of life. I open my eyes. Earth is our Pandora.
I guess it really didn't matter that the mattress had only been 3 inches thick and it was the only thing in the room. This homestay was perched over the most gorgeous valley that I had ever slept in. I just wanted to shut the window and get this day started. Ari and I took off and got ourselves off that mountain as quick as we could because we'd been invited to coffee and she wanted to say goodbye before we went back home. I was just taken with how cold Thailand is. I couldn't believe that this was Thailand and so cold in the morning. I hadn't shivered like this since my camp days in Alaska. We didn't have too far to go. I was so taken with the sunrise and the perfection of the sunrise. I couldn't believe it. But before we knew it, we were looking back to where we had slept. You're getting awful close to that pot there. Is that chicken in the pot? Is that chicken? I knew where there was smoke, there was going to be some warmth also. Didn't take this Alaska woman very long to get belly up to this fire. I was cold. And isn't everybody just kind of welcome around the fire? I wanted to just kind of blend in anyway. And even though I didn't speak the language, I wanted in on this conversation. I knew that I was in what I would call a sacred place. To be invited in to one of the local villagers' camp for coffee, yeah, that was huge in my life. It's everything that I've ever wanted. I've had this dream of traveling the world and shopping in the markets, and then maybe, just maybe, I would get an invite and I could pull out a chicken and be like, oh, I just happen to have this. Shall we cook it? But it was pretty apparent that they didn't need me and they didn't need me to bring them a chicken after last night's dinner. I knew that they were fine at providing everything that they ever needed. And boy, did I find out when we went to leave. I had sat and watched her make this. I guess it was their breakfast because it was so early in the morning. I was just so amazed by what was going on around me. I had to Google that rice thing. What was she doing? Well, it's called winnowing, and maybe they don't call it that, but it's when they toss it in the air like that, the shaft falls off. Against, the wind against the rice. Back to the soup. I never did know what that was, but we had like dried buffalo the night before, so maybe it was like the dried buffalo, but it was really, really dark. That could have been the vegetables. She just kept pulling stuff out and throwing it in there, and it smelled better and better by the minute. I just couldn't believe what I was watching because that very thing that she pulled out of that used container, I had seen that growing on the mountain just the afternoon before with Ari, and I knew what it was. So she was putting dried rosella in her soup here, and that would give it that fruity base. Being a chef, I was just mesmerized by what she was doing. But now don't ask me if I had the nerve to eat it. I didn't, because I didn't know what it was. But that's just me. Even this, I felt pretty safe with this. I knew Ari had my back, and she knew how picky I was. Even though she thought it was funny, she wasn't going to feed me something that she knew I wouldn't like or wouldn't be good for me. And she said, organic, Mom.
Organic
Good for you.
medicine, yeah. Okay.
Clean medicine. Oh, Mom, you want
Just a little. No.
coffee นะ
Yeah, just a little.
Okay. อันนี้
Here's the case where the chicken's trying to get into the pot.
มันน่าเสียใครพวก
Cue the buffalo. I don't know why this surprised me. Maybe because I thought that the farmer had cattle. I had heard them the night before at dinner. But no, they were buffalo, and I'm not surprised by that because we had buffalo in Alaska, and they were domesticated also. And they were also on the menu. So I should have put 2 and 2 together, but I didn't. I have this natural affection for animals and watching their antics in wild nature. And I just could stand there for hours watching this. And because I've been in Alaska so long, I know not to show fear and to never look them in the eye. And basically, some common sense. When they have a baby, you should just back up because they're going to take that extra step to tell you that you're not welcome. You're okay, but please leave. And so that's what I did. And we got right in our little car and we headed off the mountain and back to Chiang Mai.